Hey there, Regina Andler here, and it is time for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Are you getting tired of all the content that's out there everywhere? Everywhere you look, there is content, there is stuff to read. There are people speaking at you, asking you questions, telling you what you need to do. There's billboards, there's junk mail, there's social media, there's emails, there's all of this stuff. It's all content. Are you getting tired of the content overload? I know I am. I spend my time in a lot of different places, and everywhere I go, there's just content everywhere, and it gets very distracting and very overwhelming because when you think of it, your brain, when you look at things, your brain starts to process, is this important? Is this not important? We have this thing called the reticular activation system in our brain. And its sole responsibility is for kind of weeding out the important stuff and the non-important stuff. So when you think about all of that content that's out there, and on social media alone, it's estimated that there's over 1 billion pieces of new content every single day. I still can't get over that. I've talked about it multiple times now, and it still totally blows my mind. And that's just social media, and it's getting more and more every single day. So, what do you do if you're a coach or a consultant or a business owner who is looking to use content, social media, lead magnets, emails, all this kind of stuff to get the attention of your ideal client? Well, if you're overwhelmed and overloaded with content, guess what? They are too. So the key is creating unique content that sets you apart from the crowd. Now, the first part of that is to actually understand who your ideal target audience is. If you do not know who your ideal target audience is, you are literally trying to market yourself to billions of people at one time. And that is never going to get you results. So if you're having challenges getting likes, responses, email, people downloading files, people responding to your emails, whatever it is, however you are using your content marketing, whatever you're using it for, the key is to be unique. That reticular activating system, it's built on what's important to you. It's made to filter out anything that isn't important to you, not to somebody else, specifically to you. Your brain has decided what is important and what's not important. And what's not important isn't always necessarily not important. Sometimes you need to retrain your brain to say, hey, that is important, so go look for it. Did you ever notice, the example that we use a lot when we're talking about reticular activator is buying a car. And so you go out and you say, well, I want to buy this model car and I want it to be a bright blue color. And you never had a bright blue car before. And you never really noticed bright blue cars before on the road. You're out driving all the time. You've never even noticed them out there. And all of a sudden, now that you're going to look and buy a bright blue car, guess what? You start seeing bright blue cars all over the place. Were they just not there before? No, they were there the whole time. Your reticular activating system basically said, it's not important that we notice that. So we're just going to ignore it. And you literally never saw them until you told your brain that it was important to you. So think about that one in terms of content, right? When you think about the content that you're creating, the content that you create needs to stop people in their tracks. It needs to tickle that reticular activating system and say, hey, check this out. This is actually important. And the very first line of your content, that headline, it's the first line of post, whatever that top line is, that is what's going to get more eyeballs on your content. So if it's the headline of a guide or some kind of a lead magnet that you've got, even a tip sheet, if you just call it a tip sheet, people are like, oh, it's a tip sheet. If you give it a very specific name of what the purpose of the tip sheet is, now you got more people's attention. Same thing with emails and email subjects. And when you're posting on social media, that first line, the first line and the image. Some people go straight to the image first. Some people go to the text first. It depends on how you are. There's different people look at things differently. So you want to make sure that top line and your image go together. And if you have that image, all of a sudden the image is what stops them and goes, oh, what's this? I want to look at it. And then they read the headline, that top line, and automatically decide this is important, this is not important. I'm either moving on or I'm reading this. So when you think about who your ideal client is, what is it that they're specifically looking for? The key to content marketing is knowing that it is nothing to do with you. It has nothing at all to do with you. It is all about them. So as soon as you start using their words, the words that their reticular activator is going, oh, that's an important word. I need to stop here. When you start using their words in your headlines, the images that give them a sense of what it is that they're looking for. So if they're looking for happiness and they see an image of somebody who's really, really happy and living the life of their dreams, they might stop and go, oh, I wish that was me. And your information tells them how they can be more happy. So now you've tickled their brain so that they stop and they look. Because in this world of content overload, which by the way is just gonna keep getting worse, more and more and more and more content is gonna be thrown at you. Now, you could keep looking all over the place, or you can get focused. And I suggest getting narrow focused. Identify your ideal client avatar, identify a narrow niche, speak to that person. When you're writing anything, when you're coming up with an image, whatever it is that you're doing, speak to that person. And I guarantee you, you will get more engagement and more downloads and more people reading your emails and everything. Because when you use their words, their brain goes, oh, this is important. I want to know about this. And that is how you use content marketing and get yourself to stand out from the crowd. If you want to know more about how to do that, we have an upcoming masterclass called The Unicorn Factor, How to Demystify Marketing Content to Set You Apart from the Crowd. It's scrolling right down here on the bottom. It's www.theunicornfactornow.com, theunicornfactornow.com. And what we're doing in that program, it's a free masterclass. It's a 3-day free masterclass. And we're literally going through teaching you how to do this, implementable steps that you can take action right then and there to go and see how it works with your audience. So come and join us at the Unicorn Factor, How to Demystify Marketing Content to Set You Apart from the Crowd. And we will see you next week on Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Bye for now.